What is it, White Wings? So our chickens are at 20 weeks right now. And they are all laying except for Adrian, which is a barred rock. So we've got Delawares, Cinnamon Queens, and one barred rock.
Come on.
Oh, Sweetie Pie's coming up. Hello, Sweetie Pie. The star of the show. You thought Gunner was the star of the show? Sweetie Pie's giving Gunner a run for the money. So anyways, we've got Delawares, and they're all laying except for maybe Miss Daisy. We haven't seen her lay yet. All the Cinnamons are laying, but what we want to know from you guys, if you've had Cinnamon Queens, is they've all had like been slightly egg bound. Every single one of them, right?
Except for no, we just so far White Wings,
Mama Cass.
Fat Mama Cass twice, and White Wings once. So what we just noticed was, I kind of keep track who lays every day, and the first time I noticed that Fat Mama Cass hadn't laid at all, and then we went out one evening, right about 6 at night. And you know how chickens are, they are always active, they're doing stuff. Well, I found her in the corner, and it was like she was zoned out, and she wasn't moving, and I could just tell she wasn't feeling well. So I kind of read that you should, at the beginning, you should look out for something called being egg bound. And so, I went and got Brian, and I came down and I said, there's, something wrong with Fat Mama Cass. She's not acting right. And you could tell she was moving. We got her to walk around. We gave her some I think it's called Nutridrench, I think. It's like a poultry vitamin water, and you can give them to concentrated, and it kind of like perks them up. So I put a couple drops on her nose, and it rolled down, and she was able to drink some, and she started moving around, but we could tell she was really, really, really uncomfortable. So we kept her moving, even though she didn't want to. We kept her moving. We started giving her some, I made up a dose of the vitamin water, so we kept her hydrated. I'm not sure, were we able to get her to eat, actually?
The first time we were, yeah.
So we just kept her really hydrated, and she was eating. We kept her exercising, and she was out here in the middle of the chicken run, the chicken fence, and all of a sudden she was walking, and then she arched her back really weird, and she started pushing really hard, right? And all of a sudden Brian goes, I think she's trying to lay her egg out here. And sure enough, she just dropped the egg right on the ground.
But it was a soft egg.
Yes, it was. It was one of those rubbery eggs.
All the Cinnamons have, well, not all, but White Wings and Miss Daisy have all laid soft. They've laid hard eggs, but they've also.
Daisy. This is Miss Daisy.
Sorry, not Miss Daisy. Mama Cass. So Mama Cass and White Wings have laid soft eggs, but they've also laid hard eggs. But so my question is, and if you look online for egg-bound chickens, they typically are, on anything that I've seen, they've all been hybrid. Yeah, like Cinnamon Queens or hybrid chickens. So if you guys have, or if anybody's had Cinnamon Queens, have you guys experienced the same thing we're experiencing?
We have to really keep a close eye on them, because they seem to.
Yeah.
We can tell when there's an egg that's probably stuck in the rubber, I guess, the rubbery eggs.
So we've never given them a bath because we've kept them busy until it's time to go in the coop. So
Hydrated.
hydrated and food in them, and then they go into the coop. And the next morning, when I open the door, there's a soft egg laying on the, underneath the roost. So they pass it in the middle of the night, but
So they were able to pass it on their own without any extreme measures.
yeah, and that's what we're kind of trying to work towards, is making sure. So we've increased the calcium that they get, and that's another thing that we've also bought some calcium pills.
Just in case if they are truly egg bound, yeah.
Yeah, and so when they get in this, they kind of zone out and don't do anything and just kind of stare off into the. They got that 1,000-yard stare like a war-torn chicken.
Yeah, you can tell they're uncomfortable.
So we crush up some calcium and sprinkle a little water on their food and add it on there and let them eat that. But we've also added it into their food, and they have access to oyster shells, and their food has calcium in it too. So, that's what we're trying to do. But I don't know if it's just the hybrids that do this, because all the Delawares have just been fine. They haven't had any issues with laying eggs. Oh, Lord. She has to poop, so she's coming my way. So anyways, drop us a comment and let us know if you've got cinnamon queens or hybrid chickens, if you've had the same issue with them having soft eggs or leather type eggs.
Maybe getting egg bound.
Yeah. All right. Back to work, sweetie pie.
That's Miss Daisy.
Oh, Miss Daisy, what's up? Where are you going?
She wants to see you.
You coming over here?
She's silly.
We also wanted to give an update on the Rooster and my wife and their positioning for power.
He was definitely giving me a run for my money, wasn't he, babe?
He was.
I had gone to spend some time with my dad for a week, and I came back, and it was like just like a flip of a switch. He was like, no, you can't be in here with the girls. And he was just flailing around like nobody's business. So it took a couple days. Truth be told, I was kind of thrown off for a while. I was like, I kind of got to where I was like, babe, come down with me, to make sure he doesn't keep, what do they call it? Flogging or something? I don't even know.
Attacking.
But, and I was getting nervouser and nervouser, and my husband was like, babe, he's like, it's a bird. It's not going to hurt you. And
he doesn't have his spurs. They're just little nubs right now. So there's nothing really that, he's got nails, but besides that, he's just a chicken.
Yeah. But I think I was being just too easy on him. I was like, no, don't stop. So I had to put my foot down, and we had a coming to Jesus moment. And he respects me. I respect him, so he doesn't run after me anymore.
So the good news is there's no more real issues with the Rooster.
No.
Everybody gets along fine with him.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, us and Gunner.
Well, I thought we better figure it out soon, because if you noticed on Rocky, his spurs are starting to grow, definitely. So within the next couple months, he'll have them. So he needs to realize that I'm boss.
Yeah. Now, we brought our mom out for a week, and Rocky, when she came down, Rocky tried to get her a couple times, but we were pretty much here the whole time to keep Rocky off of her.
But he wouldn't leave her alone.
Yeah, every time she came down, he'd rush up on her.
And she was in the garden, and he went after her and
tried to bum rush her in the garden.
He's really good at sneak attacks, let me tell you. So hopefully she doesn't resent him too much. He really is a great rooster. He does his job, that's for sure. And that's why they were made, to protect the girls. So I do understand that. I think roosters can be misunderstood. But
He's got 2 jobs: hump and protect.
and he
And
likes
he does them both well.
he likes to do both a lot. So I think
But that's true. Anytime anything happens out here, like a bird flies over, like close or whatever, all the girls automatically just run to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
He just fluffs his feathers up and says, "Hey,
yeah. Yesterday
these are
we
my
were having
babies."
like a flock of
Stellar jays."
Stellar jays, and I think they were maybe wanting to check out the area because probably chicken food was in here, and good God, he was on Stellar Jay duty, because he was like, they would fly down and he would fly up, and
I seen something really big, like, I don't know, 2 foot off the ground flying. I was like, what the hell is that? And it was Rocky trying to fly and get one of these Stellar jays.
Yeah, so he does a really good job protecting the girls, that's for sure. So he has his different calls for if birds fly over, and he's a good rooster. He's a great rooster, actually. Does his job, and once you pick him up, he's so docile, he'll just sleep in your arms. The girls at the other side of the island hand raised him, and they did such a good job with him. So he's in his teenage years. He's got hormones all over the place. So I heard about a year old, they really come into their own. So we're waiting for that year to come.
I don't see it. We got a float plane somewhere.
Yeah.
So, the closest town we live to is Juneau, and we get a lot of float planes and like little bush planes that fly from some of the other villages like Sitka and Hoona and Angoon. So whenever you hear planes flying by, those guys are headed to Juneau to get supplies or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Juneau Airport, they've got a runway for their big planes like 747s and stuff, but then they have a big pond for all the float planes to land in too.
It's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, and the majority of the planes that pass by are all float planes, majority of the time.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you'll get one that flies and lands out here in front of our place, and it's always fun to watch, but they're loud. So
we've been seeing the Coast Guard helicopter fly around a lot lately. I think they keep it in, did you say Sitka?
Speaking of Stellar jays, there's one up in the tree. Yeah, the helicopter station at Sitka.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on with the, calling of the Coast Guard helicopter lately. I've noticed. We've seen them a couple times this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Coast Guard men and women.
And one of our friends' kids just graduated from Coast Guard boot camp, so congratulations.
Yeah, who was that?
Mandy's boy.
Oh, that's right. Mandy's son did. That is, congratulations. That's
And
awesome.
for those that don't know, why my wife is from here is because her dad is a retired Coast Guard chief warrant officer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Coast Guard. There's a lot of coasties here.
Yes, that is right. The Coast Guard is why my mom and dad are here. So, yeah, he got here and said, we are not leaving.
Yeah, they got here and was like, dude, I love it.
Yep.
And then my wife suckered me in up here, and then I said, dude, I love it. So for our garden update, we are getting into the high 30s at night.
Yeah, we've been dropping down to like 37 at night. It's been pretty cold. So I threw some of this cloth on top. That really helps out. I just have a couple more that I would like for my peas to get a little bit bigger, but I planted some Alaska peas for my first time, and man, they are phenomenal, and they taste delicious.
They do.
Gunnar loves my Alaska peas, don't you, buddy? Yeah, that's his favorite. He loves Alaska peas. So next year, I'm going to plant Alaska peas again. They're so good in a salad. I mean, they're delicious.
Yeah, they're like really sweet. They are good. I mean, you could just eat them raw all day long.
We do.
We
just pop them off and just sit out here sometimes and just, you know.
Instead of eating popcorn, you could just have a bucket of these.
Oh, it tastes so good. Not this. Don't eat that. That's too fibrous. Here, buddy. But, yeah, it's just really good. And, like, when you're making a fresh salad, just put some of those in there. Oh, man, they taste so good. But next year, I'm going to do Alaska peas. And then I want to do snap peas. Because this pod is so hard. You don't want to be eating that. It's way too crunchy, way too fibrous. But snap peas, I want to do some snap peas so we can just... you know, pop them right off and then munch on them next year. That would be really good. And as you can tell, I have some lettuce left. This is kind of my end of my lettuce here. We've just had so much lettuce. I mean, this has just grown out of control. I have some butternut lettuce in here that's left. I'm just covering that up so it doesn't freeze at night. I still have some spinach in here. Gunner. He loves spinach too. Yeah, good job, buddy. Oh.
As he drops it.
Leave it alone. But,
does Rocky like spinach?
yeah, I'm sure he does. We can listen to Rocky. He loves peas. Let me
Rocky.
cut some peas for you too. Peas is one of his favorite things. You find a big pea in here. Rocky really likes peas also. And let's see if he'll come eat one out of my hand. Here, Rocky. You go. Good job. Good job, buddy.
Attack Rocky.
So, as you can see, we're friends now. Our zucchini and squash was a bust this summer.
Yeah, zucchini and squash was a no-go. So we pulled all that out of the bed, threw it in the compost.
So it was so cloudy and so rainy and so cold this summer. They just didn't grow. And, oh man, last year was my first season and I thought, oh, I'm a god at gardening. You know,
This bird just came by and Rocky's letting the girls know.
I thought I was a god at gardening and I had this awesome green thumb, and then this year, not much. So that was kind of a bummer. But they kept warning me last year. People would leave comments and said, this is not normal. You just are having a great growing season, because it was like 80 last summer, and like for like 3 months we had like straight sun. So everything just grew out of control and it was so awesome. And this year, not so much. So hopefully our next growing season. But I didn't lose any cabbage.
Yeah, all the cold crops did really well.
Yeah, I didn't lose any cabbage, Brussels sprouts, or
cauliflower.
Or broccoli to root maggots this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that had something to do with the hot weather last year. They were just breeding like crazy, and they just... So I'm not sure. You know, I guess everybody says every year in Alaska is a different experience.
I think that's everywhere, not just Alaska.
Is it?
Even the ladies that we know that have been gardening for years said that this was just a horrible year. So it's not just us, it's all over Alaska.
Yeah. This is my attempt at a hotbed this year. We are hopefully going to have our greenhouse next summer. The chicken coop ended up costing more money than we thought it would, so we had to put that on hold.
But it's a good looking chicken coop.
It is a good looking chicken coop. I had a whole bunch of tomato plants in here. I ended up pulling them out. They were a lot smaller and they weren't doing anything. But this one we bought from Glacier Gardens. And
these are, we didn't know what kind of tomato plant it was, but they turned out just to be little cherry tomatoes. And so we've got little tomatoes growing, And
we
and
took off
pulled,
2.
Yeah, we pulled off 2 that were fully ripe and ready to eat, and they were delicious. But it's just been cold, and they really never took off. So next year, we'll definitely make sure we have something, even if we have to do like a double hoop or
I think this is
in the
going
greenhouse.
in the greenhouse next
Yeah.
summer. Yeah. But look, there's 1, 2, 3.
You got a slug there too.
Where?
Right
Oh,
there.
look at that. Let me get my scissors. Let me tell you what I do to slugs.
She's gonna go get her killing tools.
See how gooey these are?
Yeah.
These are my slug. So I get them off. Say goodbye to my slug.
She snaps them and.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, we tried to grow in here straight from seed too, or did we have these as starts?
Everything else was seeds that I did, but
they never took off, so
it was just too
it's
cold.
just bare now. But
yeah.
the one that we bought did really good.
Yeah, it was.
Except for it was just too cold for it to produce.
Yeah, so I'm excited next year to have that greenhouse so I can get some of these hot crops to grow. So these are my Brussels sprouts. You can tell obviously they need to grow. They need more time to produce. It's just getting colder and colder. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We've talked about something called double hooping to get some more.
Yeah, but the problem is what is a really cool idea to do, and double hooping just doesn't turn out really well. So I milled these from a tree, but you kind of need rough cut lumber to make a box around the top of this, and then that way you can put hinges on it and open and close it for it to have a nice seal and not let a draft in. But that's what you got, another slug over there on the Visqueen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we wouldn't be able to do it on this bed, but we can do it on the beds that we got the store-bought lumber from. So that's what we'll probably do.
So this was cilantro. It's already been harvested and put in the freezer. It did really good. I had just a ton of it. We have some parsley here. I already harvested, but Lord heaven, it's still growing. So I'll see if my neighbors want some fresh parsley. Since I still have such a ton of it left.
Got a chicken laying an egg. Let's go listen to her sing. So that's White Wings. Mama Cass is in the nesting box, but White Wings is like being her little cheerleader. That's her cheer squad. Mama Cass was thirsty, so after laying that egg, she wants to drink some of Rocky's water. But anyways, she handled her business, and let's see what we got in here. Somebody else has been in here. That's weird. So somebody else obviously had occupied the coop first before Mama Cass, because we ended up with 2.
This was my broccoli and cauliflower bed, and they did spectacular this year. We had some nice heads of cauliflower, and it cooked up so good. It was do fresh vegetables. You just cannot beat them. I mean, everything just tastes so much better when you grow it. It's amazing. The last bed was our cabbage bed, and it's done really good this year. Everything's just growing a little bit slower than it did last year. We have a couple heads that are about to start. This one's doing pretty good. I think maybe that's gonna go. So we have some red cabbage here. This is some younger cabbage that I planted a little bit later, so they all wouldn't come at the same time. I'm hoping we can just keep growing these until it gets too cold and poops out on us. I'm hoping maybe he'll double
Hoop this one?
double hoop this one for me, but if not this year.
This one we may do, and that way we could probably grow all the way into November. Hopefully. That'd be nice.
Well, yeah. Because it's going to take a while for these to attempt to... So, yeah.
To get a head going on them?
Yeah, so it would be nice if I could just grow these to the very end.
Yeah.
I love cabbage.
She does love cabbage.
I eat a lot of cabbage. Fried cabbage.
Uh-oh. Tell us about your cabbage. Tell about your cabbage fetish.
Fried cabbage. Just coleslaw.
Cabbage shrimp kebab.
Is that from
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump? Yeah, I love cabbage. You just
There's a lot of ways you can eat cabbage.
you just eat it with everything. It's so good. I love cabbage.
Cabbage crepes. Cabbage on a stick. Deep fried cabbage.
I love cabbage.
She loves cabbage. All right, well, that's going to end it for this video, I think. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
To dominate him. Oh my gosh, what is that in there?
It's a rock.
No, in the grass.
Oh, it's a dog.
Is it Gunner?
No, I think it's Abby.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It looks like not a
No,
dog.
it's Gunner.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Where you been, Gunner?
That was Gunner in the grass over there?
Maybe.
Are you sure it wasn't something else?
We'll find out.
What is that?
Action.
Okay. We're ready?
Yeah.
Our last... Rocky, he's always interrupting me.